People waste decades waiting for luck to notice them. But luck isn't late. They're just standing in the wrong line. Every day, ordinary people hand over their potential for free, trading it for comfort, distraction, and excuses. The funny thing? The top 1% don't have more hours, more oxygen, or some secret handshake. They just play life by a different set of rules. Rules most people are too distracted to see. Let's pull those rules out of the shadows. First, they treat time like oxygen underwater. When you have only a few breaths left, you don't waste one. Most people act as if time regenerates overnight, like an energy in a video game. They scroll, they binge, they just chill. The top 1% see time for what it is, the only currency that can't be refunded. They spend it like investors, not tourists. Warren Buffett once said, the difference between successful and unsuccessful people is how they value their time. He wasn't exaggerating. The wealthy outsource, automate, delegate, anything that buys them back their minutes. So take a look at your day. Where are you leaking time? Because if you don't value your hours, the world won't either. Second, they think in decades, not days. Most people chase the sugar rush of quick wins. They want results now, fame now, freedom now. But short-term comfort builds long-term pain. The top 1% know that every shortcut costs something. They plant trees today whose shade they might never sit under, and somehow they always end up sitting there anyway. Jeff Bezos once said he makes decisions based on where he wants to be in 10 years. That's why he built Amazon when bookstores were still cool. So ask yourself, are you playing a game that ends tomorrow or one that compounds for years? Third, they say no like it's a superpower. Most people say yes because they fear being left out. But every careless yes is a thief in disguise, stealing your focus, your energy, your goals. Steve Jobs famously said, innovation is saying no to 1,000 things. It's not just a quote, it's a filter for greatness. The top 1% protect their attention like bodyguards at a vault. They know not every opportunity is an opportunity. So maybe it's time you start treating your yes like it costs gold, because it does. Fourth, they don't chase motivation, they build discipline. Motivation is the spark. Discipline is the engine. Most people wait for inspiration to hit, but the top 1% have long stopped waiting. They do it tired, do it scared, do it anyway. Kobe Bryant woke up at 4 a.m. for years, not because he felt like it, but because greatness became his routine. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it just asks, did you do it? Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you carve a new line into the road of consistency. And that's the path few walk long enough to win. Fifth, they invest in themselves before the world believes in them. The average person spends to impress. The 1% spend to improve. They buy knowledge before they buy luxury. They'd rather master a skill than post a lifestyle. Look at Oprah. Before she was a billionaire, she spent years learning how to connect deeply with people, not just interview them. That's why her conversations changed lives. And her life changed too. Everything you invest into yourself multiplies quietly. Education, books, mentors, fitness. These are not expenses. They're reinforcements for your future self. Sixth, they choose their circle with surgical precision. Energy is contagious, and the top 1% are immune to low vibrations. They don't sit around gossiping, they don't debate small dreams. They spend time with people who make them uncomfortable in a good way, people who make them question if they're doing enough. Elon Musk once said he surrounds himself with people smarter than him. It's not humility, it's strategy. If you hang around 5 complainers, you'll be the 6th. But if you sit with 5 builders, your hands will start reaching for bricks. Look at your circle. Does it drain you or charge you? Drop your answer in the comments because most people don't even notice who's holding them back. 7th, they stay consistent, even when it's painfully boring. Everyone loves the idea of success, but not the monotony behind it. The truth? Success looks like repetition. Michael Phelps swam laps until his muscles screamed. Writers write bad drafts before good ones appear. The top 1% show up so often that luck eventually mistakes them for destiny. Consistency is what the 99% call boring, and that's why they stay where they are. The magic you're waiting for hides inside the work you're avoiding. 8th, they train their mind like a muscle. The average person feeds their fears and then wonders why they're starving for peace. The 1% flip that. They meditate, reflect, control the inner voice that whispers you can't, because they know the mind is both the weapon and the wound. Take Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor who lost everything except his mindset. He said everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the freedom to choose his attitude. The top 1% live by that. They don't let emotions drive their car. Emotions just sit in the passenger seat. Master your thoughts, and you master your life. Ninth, they move before they feel ready. Fear and perfectionism are twins. One screams, "You're not enough." The other whispers, "Wait a little longer." The 1% ignore both. They act, learn, adjust, and act again. Think about Sarah Blakely. She started Spanx with $5,000 and zero experience in fashion. She just started. The product wasn't perfect, but she improved as she went and became the youngest self-made female billionaire. You can't steer a parked car. The sooner you move, the sooner clarity catches up. If something's been on your mind for months, this is your sign. Start today. Not next week, not someday. 10th, they never, ever stop learning. The world evolves faster than comfort does. Most people graduate once. The 1% graduate daily. They treat every conversation, failure, and book as a classroom. They know that curiosity is the fuel of relevance. Look at people like Charlie Munger. At nearly 100 years old, he still reads for hours a day. He once said, "Go to bed smarter than you woke up." Simple, but powerful. The moment you stop learning, you start decaying. The 1% don't let knowledge chase them, they hunt it. Here's what makes them different. None of this is magic. They weren't chosen. They just made daily decisions most people are too distracted or afraid to make. That's the quiet truth of the 1%. Now you've got two choices. You can nod, agree, and go back to the scroll, or you can pause for 10 seconds, drop "I'm leveling up" in the comments, and let your brain remember that commitment. Because the second you declare it, you start becoming it. If this hit you somewhere deep, don't just feel inspired, act inspired. Hit the like button not for me, but for your future self. Subscribe, stay close, and let's make sure that from this point on, you stop watching success from the sidelines and start building it from the inside.